you doing?
Louder.
We have Carrie McCoy with us today. Let's give him a big round of applause. We're so happy you're here. And we're going to sing our welcome song this morning. Here we go. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. In the right place, I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. In my soul, oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. Yeah, yeah. And I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm getting the message. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. Yeah. My soul is welcome here. Yeah. My soul is welcome here. 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 My soul is welcome. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome
Well, good morning once again, Reverend Deborah, as our souls are welcome here. Good to have you here.
Good morning, Reverend James. It's great to be up here with you. And we greet you in the name of all that is good, all that is holy, and all that is sacred, and in the warm and loving energy of this community, Spiritual Life Center. Spiritual Life Center honors all people worshiping in temples, mosques, churches, stone circles, and the beautiful temples of nature, because we know there's no space that God does not grace. And if you're with us for the very first time today, whether you're watching us online or here with us in person, we especially want to welcome you because we know you are not here by accident. Every one of us is here by divine appointment. And we're always so very excited and happy to get together, and that excitement extends to when you silence your electronic devices, and please refrain from flash photography during the service.
Well, let's keep our appointment with the Spirit of the living God as we commune with it for a moment. Recognizing that there's a presence that we can lean on at any time. That it has the answers even before we know what the question is. It has the request of our prayer fulfilled before we know what the prayer request is. For it's everywhere present, and most importantly, right where we are. And there's no time in this presence. The past, present, and future is all one. And so our task is to come under His government and guidance, be open and receptive to all that it has to offer us as we come here today, simply to remind ourselves of the truth of who and what we are. All of us are divine expressions of the Spirit of the living God. And as we make that the activity of our life, then we anchor in not only our life, but in the very world in which we live, the high prerogative of our spirit, the possibilities that exist. We open up ourselves to the potential that is there, and we begin to move toward it to not only change our lives, transform our lives, but also the very world in which we live. So we're grateful, we're thankful to let God be God in us. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. Well, we have a very important purpose here at Spiritual Life Center as reflected in our mission statement. And I invite you to join in as we affirm it together. Let's speak it aloud together. To transform lives, to make a positive difference in the world, as we love, serve, and remember. And we carry out that mission as we make these universal principles, these 5 principles, part of our life. Again, let's speak them aloud together. God is absolute good and everywhere present. People are inherently good. Thoughts create our experiences. Prayer and meditation are how we connect with God, and we must take action.
And somebody in our congregation who takes action is Shirley Brown, and she does, once a month, she does the beautiful flowers for the altar, and so thank you, Shirley.
Yes, thank you.
She did orange really well.
Yes.
And just want to remind you that if you are attending Patrick Furlong's Awakening the Sage Within, they will not be meeting this week because monks will be here, which we're going to talk about in just a moment. He will be back on the 23rd for the 6th installment of this workshop, which is, by the way, a really amazing workshop. So keep that on your calendar.
Yes, and speaking of our monks, they're going to be here. It's Wednesday, right?
Wednesday.
Yeah, starting October the 16th through the 19th in person. And, one of the things I've been educated on about, the mandala is that when they put together all of the sand, it's there to kind of bringing all the spirits in kind of one place, all the avatars and the ideas of spirit. And then when they release it, the sand is released back to the earth so that there's kind of a cycle that is unbroken. So they have a wonderful opportunity for us to observe them putting together the mandala and then also to release it to the ethers, so to speak, as we continue on. So it's going to be a wonderful experience. So I invite you to be part of that anytime you can come by.
And the full schedule of what's going to be happening every day is at the hub, and it's also online because there's a lot of activities starting around noon on Wednesday going through Saturday afternoon. So there's lots of opportunities. Also, we will be having the community meal this week, but we will do it at 6:45 because the monks will be working all afternoon on building the mandala, and then they will they will be chanting from 6 to 6:30. So please come and join. The monks will be here. You can eat with them. In fact, I'm thinking we're going to feed them a lot right here. So it's going to be pretty cozy event, and we're just so looking forward to it. So.
And the
trick-or-treat
cabaret.
The trick-or-treat cabaret, yay! This is where we get to see the hidden talents of people who just come once in a while and hang out and don't come up here very often. The shower singers and all of that. How many have been to a cabaret before?
All righty.
All right, the rest of you, come on by.
Come on down.
Yeah. So the social hour starts at 5, and the cabaret itself is from 6 to 8 p.m.
And speaking of activities, we have our silent gala auction going on. We're going to have Elaine LaRoa give us an update on that so we can get our stuff.
Good morning, SLC.
Good morning.
Well, 'twas a fortnight since gala, and what did I see? A chapel full of donated items by you and me. There were handbags and jewelry, artwork, and more, garden tools, collectibles, and events that you'll adore. There are tickets to Soul Light Connections house concert next June, personal fitness, hypnotherapy, acupuncture sessions, if that's more your tune, and each valued treasure priced at low bidding bids. You can shop for a loved one, yourself, or your kids. So there's an artist raffle with tickets for only $25, and you can win so many things if you can spare a few dollars. There are over 60 items, and some allow multiple winners. So you can preview today in the chapel auction room or use this flyer and QR code to view from your living room. Our staff will help you bid and tell your heart's desire. We hope you will participate to raise each bid much higher. So please bid and bid often, whether you need what's on display. because the silent auction is about supporting SLC in a fun and loving way.
All right.
And the chapel is open after to come check out the bids. We'll help you bid online, and we will be open till next Sunday when we'll be pulling both the raffle items and the final bid winners. Thank you.
Thank you, Elaine. Elaine, she set a new standard now. I guess we have to do all our announcements in rhyme beginning next week. We also, each month, we have an update from our Board of Trustees. So this month's update is from our one and only
Claudia Norton.
Ooh, too many donut holes or something.
Good morning, SLC.
Morning.
We are so delighted to learn that Michael Moran's estate is going to be donating $50,000 to us. Michael loved this church so much, and for those of you who don't know, Michael and Faith birthed this church 26 years ago. I was there. I was on the first founding board, and so we're so grateful for this money to come in at this time. And thank you, Michael. Mm-hmm. Looking out for us. And as we move forward with the minister search, we want to keep the love offerings coming in. So I just wanted to say that. Yeah. We submitted the package for the minister search to Worldwide Unity on September 29th. And then on October 2nd, the vacancy packet went live on Worldwide Unity's website. This goes out to all the Unity churches in the U.S. And applicants who want to apply will undergo a background check before WWU sends it to us. And we are putting together a search committee that will report to the board their recommended applicants. And we want to thank everyone who answered the survey last month, because we love hearing about what the congregants want. And we printed out the prayer for the minister search. So if you didn't get one when you were coming in, see an usher for that. And we will be doing a welcoming ceremony on October 20th, next Sunday, for all the people that have already joined the church. And this will be at both services, where we'll give them their membership card and a SLC pin. And we have applied for a state grant that will give us $49,000 for security issues. And lots of people pitched in to make this deadline. And so we're grateful to Sally Sion for spearheading this, and we'll keep you updated on our success. Thank you.
Thank you, Claudia.
Just a slight clarification, the new member welcome next week is for people who have joined, I think, within the last year or so. So we want to welcome them and introduce them to the congregation. So excuse me. So we always remind you that there are many ways to transform your life at Spiritual Life Center while you're losing your voice. And one of the ways to do that is to, check out our small groups and our other offerings. Go to the website, or you can also, if you're here today, you can go out and look at the bulletin board, talk to the ladies at the hub, and of course, like I said, everything is on the website.
And of course, we come to Spiritual Life Center, among other things, to make connections with like-minded folks who are on their path of growth, development, unfoldment. But we don't have to wait for a special event to happen to connect with someone. You can connect with someone right here, right now. So in a manner that feels comfortable for you, I invite you to turn to a friend or a friend-to-be and say, "You are marvelous and glad you are here."
please continue and stay standing. We're going to sing our FIA song, I Am That I Am. Sing together. I am listening to the call of the universe, beckoning me to make my way home. I am opening to infinite divinity ever within me. I am not alone. The pull of the sun urges the blossom to come forth. I am that I am. As the ocean in wave increasing breaks upon the shore, I am that I am. As the archer bends the bow and gently lets the arrow go, silence in the thunder reminds me to release. I am that I am. As a sweet relenting emptiness fills me to the brim. I am that I
I am that. The only words that we can use for ourselves. Nobody can take I am from us. Well, you know, each year when we have our Faith in Action series, each week we have a resident artist that gives an artistic rendition of the theme of the week. And today we have two wonderful artists who are going to share their work with you to help amplify the message for the week. And the first artist is our one and only Karen Thomas. Got some fans out there. And here's what she writes about her artwork. I allow those who blame and have wronged me to be forgiven. In forgiving others, I am set free. The dancer in this piece represents the freedom felt when authentically forgiving someone who has wronged you. With true forgiveness, you can free yourself from the past and from the baggage that the past holds for you. Then you will feel true freedom and maybe even joy. Karen Thomas, our artist for this week. And our next artist is the one and only Mary Rupp. And I believe her artwork is entitled Met Your Mort, with Still Life and Lemons. And here's what Mary writes. This painting is a metaphor for what you do with adversity. The beautiful forest is gone, but maybe the house is still standing. Maybe not. Or perhaps the fire just took a room or two. The roof is toast, but wow, look at that ceiling of stars. And in the daytime, there's perfect light for painting. Follow your bliss. The universe has a plan for you. Hardships can be fast-tracked through thankfulness. Have you noticed that before now, how lovely that lemon tree is? Mary Rupp and her work for this week.
And now, as we move into the contemplative part of our service, let's embody the words of our vision statement together. Spiritual Life Center is a loving, vibrant family that welcomes home all people and accepts everyone, no exceptions. Weaving ancient spiritual traditions with emerging wisdom, we cultivate a spiritual deepening with the divine, each other, and our planet.
I invite you to take a nice deep breath and let it out. Get settled in your chair. We're going to sing this beautiful meditation. Breathe. It's what we all need to do more of.
Deep
just allow yourself to breathe naturally. But bring your focus now to your heart space. And as you shift your focus, imagine a tiny point of light floating just above and behind your physical heart. And recognize this as the divine spark that lives within each one of us. But it seems so small. And you wonder how that tiny spark can have any effect on you or the world. As you come closer to this inner light, you ask the spark, you seem so small, trapped inside this body. What use can we be? And now the light, your spark, becomes brighter and brighter, lifting you up and up until you find yourself gliding through a night sky. The stars and moon glimmer. All is calm and quiet. You float and drift in safety and contentment until up ahead, a small light appears and you begin to move toward it. As you come closer, you see an open-sided temple made of onyx. And inside burns a single flame. And now that you notice all around you, hundreds of tiny sparks of light travel toward the temple and they enter it. And now you realize that you too are a tiny speck of light. And so gently you move into the stream of lights and glide into the temple. And in the center of the temple burns an enormous single flame. It is clean and pure. It is holy. It is the eternal flame. And all the tiny sparks form a circle around the holy flame, each one touching another. And yet there seems to be no limit to the size of the circle. It goes on forever. It is infinite. And the circle begins to dance and whirl around the holy flame. And as the circle rotates, the divine flame expands, moving up and out until the entire circle is engulfed and each tiny spark ignited and enlivened. And now there are no more tiny sparks, but one bright and burning circle of love and compassion joined with the one holy flame. Give yourself over to this divine dance of love and compassion. Celebrate that part of you that is more powerful than you ever imagined, and give thanks for being a divine spark in the silence. You are renewed. You know who you are now. Take a breath and begin to return to your human form. As you re-enter your body, you hear a soft voice offering this blessing. Oh, my beloved, the divine spark burns within each of you. The divine spark is you. It is eternal. The dance of love and compassion fueled by the divine flame is eternal. Your spark may feel small, but it is the essence of who you are, a divine, eternal being. When your soul burns with love and compassion, you bring infinite blessings to your world. Remember this, always.
I have searched the whole world over, looking out for the peace I hungered, wondering if I'd ever find my way. Destination out of sight, I lost my will to fight, so I just surrendered and prayed. Heaviness hung over me, raining its poison arrows, till I learned to turn within and let the fear go. Suncatcher, shine your light on me. Suncatcher, now beauty is all I see. Suncatcher, so grateful to be free. Suncatcher, happiness is dancing through me. Reverently I light this candle, symbolize my love eternal. Now I know my life is a prayer. Close my eyes, draw in each breath, and every moment find the stillness, beautiful even in my darkest days. Happiness rains down on me, I'm sheltered always with comfort. Illuminate me in your radiance, no more sorrow. Suncatcher, shine your light on me. Suncatcher, now beauty is all I see. Suncatcher, so grateful to be free. Suncatcher, happiness is dancing through me. Happiness rains down on me, I'm sheltered always with comfort. Illuminate me in your radiance, no more sorrow. Suncatcher, shine your light on me. Suncatcher, now beauty is all I see. Suncatcher, so grateful to be free. Suncatcher, happiness is dancing through me. Suncatcher, shine your light on me. Suncatcher, now beauty is all I see. Suncatcher, so grateful to be free. Suncatcher,
Thank you once again. Like I said, that's the song that's going to be in my head this week. Suncatcher, shine your light on me. Suncatcher, now beauty is all I see. Yes, I think I think Patty and Nancy was asking me, "Well, I'm going to sing today?" I said, "Well, it's not in my script, but I gave you a few bars, so that's going to have to be it for today." I remember the day vividly. It happened many, many years ago, and I was sitting in a courtroom with a client. Frankly, I don't remember the client. I don't remember why we were there. It might be something routine that we had to go to court for. But I remember that day because something happened that had an indelible imprint on my own mind. There was an up-and-coming aspiring model. Her name was Melissa. And Melissa's career was crushed because her legs were mangled by a car that was driven by a drunk driver. And there was a big to-do there. She was known in the community, very well liked. So there were photographers and reporters. The courtroom was packed with people. But anyway, previously the court case had gone to trial, and the driver was found guilty. And so this day was the day they were going to sentence that person. And like I said, the courtroom was packed with people who had come there. And some people had come there with their own agendas. And, they had agendas of retribution and revenge against the person that caused this tragic event in this young woman's life. And, of course, on a human level, it would have been understandable if Melissa had harbored resentment and blame and anger toward the man who had really snuffed out her dream. But something surprisingly happened. Something unexpected took place, at least to most of the people there, and even to myself at that time. I wasn't engaged in any kind of spiritual stuff at all. But Melissa pleaded with the judge to not send this man to jail. And what she said was that he didn't do it on purpose. And then Melissa turned to the man and kind of who had caused her to really get in that wheelchair, and she said to him, I don't hate you. I may hate alcohol, but I don't hate you. And the man became very emotional at that moment, as I recall, and tears began to roll down his cheeks, and Melissa gestured him to come to her where she was in her wheelchair. And he came close to her, and Melissa reached up and grabbed his hand and handed him a Kleenex and hugged him and said, "I forgive you." And the two embraced, and some of the people there who are watching this take place right before their eyes, who are looking for retribution, were looking for some revenge, they were distressed by her actions. But ultimately, the judge didn't go along with her plea to give him leniency. He was sentenced to whatever he was sentenced to at that time by the state, the prosecution. And the judge said the man had to be held accountable for his actions. In that regard, it probably was correct. It did follow the law. There's a statement from Mahatma Gandhi that says, "The weak never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong." In this week's reading, the writer notes that those who blame are not happy. And the author takes a very interesting perspective on forgiveness. He says that it's not as if someone does something to a person and then that person has to accept their apology from the perpetrator. Rather, what he notes is that it is the willingness to respond to hurt by saying, "I'm sorry that your unhappiness caused you to treat me this way." Now, obviously, this man who was convicted of this offense did not know Melissa personally. But as I listened to those who were there as character witnesses and others in background in his life, you could tell that he had a lot of unhappiness in his own life that led him to act in a reckless and unlawful way that caused that pain and suffering to that young woman. From the author's perspective that he writes in his book, it really caused me to pause. Because the way he was looking at forgiveness, it wasn't the way that I was looking at it up until that point. In fact, through this book, I don't know about you, but he's challenged some of my previously held beliefs. Like, your world is not necessarily a reflection of your inner state of being, and some other things about, when we say energy flows where the attention goes. He says that's not true, and then my unspiritualized being was saying, oh, you're just wrong about that. But I thought about something that Charles Philman, a co-founder of Unity, said. He said, I reserve the right to change my mind. And this teaching that we're in, of course, is an open-ended, is open at the top, as we like to say. And it's okay to be open to a new idea, a new perspective, a new way of seeing things. And when I remember the first time I read Emily Cady's Lessons in Truth, the very first sentence in that book says something to the effect, as far as possible, lay aside for the time being all previously held theories, all previously held beliefs. And later, if after you've read everything, you want to return to your previously held beliefs, you are at perfect liberty to do so. So I took it from that perspective, that I could change my mind. I could look at it from a different perspective, step back, release my grip to what I believe to be true. I say that to say this. In the end, we all have to come to our own conclusions. We all have to use our own God-given guidance. Anyway, that's a sidebar. Anyway, come to find out that man had lots of unhappiness. He was unhappy with his marriage, unhappy with his job. He was unhappy that his health was bad. He hated his mother. So we never really know what's going on inside of another person's mind when they do things that just don't seem rational. And I always remember this story that I've shared from time to time, but it's always in my mind to bear repeating when I engage in the human judgment. And it was about the idea that there was a school of fish. And they were, swimming along, and they were in perfect formation, I guess, as fish are. And then all of a sudden, one of the fish got out the formation. It was flip-flopping around, jumping around. And all the rest of the fish were looking at that person and said, look at Freddie over there. He's a disgrace to the fish family. But what they didn't know, that Freddie had bit into a hook that was tied to an invisible line that they could not see, that caused him to act the way that he did. So we really don't know what's going on with that person, their level of unhappiness. So we say in our own way, in our own words, oh, I'm sorry that your unhappiness, your state of mind caused you to act the way that you did. Now, as I always like to say, it doesn't mean that, we don't hold the person accountable as they did in that case. He still had to be accountable to the law. But as the reading suggests, forgiveness is not a way to justify cruel behavior. What that person did, what anyone may have done, is not okay. But forgiveness is a way of refusing to store someone else's unhappiness in our cellular body as memories of mistreatment. So we say, I don't blame you, as Melissa did. I don't blame the true you. I don't blame the divine you. I always make a distinction between the truth of a person and the act that they have committed at any given time. And forgiveness frees us from walking around as anyone's victim. Forgiveness, is not for the other person, although it can be. It's for the forgiver. In fact, the co-founder of Unity says that if you try to free yourselves while holding another in bondage with condemning thoughts, we cannot demonstrate our own freedom. So some people may think that, if I forgive that person, I got to hang around that person. I got to stay married to that person. I got to take that person out to dinner, lunch, and breakfast or whatever. It doesn't mean any of that. It just means that the blame, the resentment, the animosity, the separation is diminished. And we no longer hold others responsible for our experience. Sometimes we have to purify our own awareness, at least ourselves, through self-forgiveness. And I always think about my own experience. When I went through my own riotous living and, my life just collapsed, and I had a great deal of guilt about what I thought I had done to my life. And I was in this rehab center, and they had all kinds of different programs. And, they had, individual counseling, and they had what they call encounter groups. They put you in the middle of the room, and they just blast you away to try to break you down, to bring you back up. We had, 12-step programs. We had all kinds of different stuff. It seemed like nothing was working. I still had that guilt I was carrying. And then suddenly one day I woke up, and all of that burden that I was carrying, it just lifted from my shoulders. Now, I have to say, I didn't do that, but I think I created the conditions for that to happen. I think once forgiveness took place, it cleared that field in my awareness by canceling out blame, myself letting it go, cutting it loose. And when that happens, I was able to see the possibilities that were there all of the time that I may not have been able to see before. In the reading this week, the author notes that when we allow those who have blamed or wronged us to be forgiven, we're actually speaking from our highest God nature, our soul nature, that part of us that has never been hurt, harmed, or endangered in any way, shape, or form. But when we do not forgive, it blinds us from seeing the possibilities that are right before our eyes. We don't even see it. There's a story about a mischievous character in some of the ancient teachings. And his name was Rasputin. And in this particular story, Rasputin was going from one country to another and crossing the border. And the border guard at that time just knew that Rasputin was smuggling something. He knew in his heart Rasputin was smuggling something from one side to the other. And so he had Rasputin get off his donkey, and he searched his pockets, he searched his backpacks, and searched his bags, and never found anything. And then he would come back again, and he would continue to search. And this went on for like months, and then eventually years. But this border guard knew he was smuggling something, so it came down to the day he was about to retire. And he said to Rasputin, we created a relationship over this time. I'm not going to get you in trouble. I'm not going to have you arrested for doing anything wrong. But I got to know, what were you smuggling all these years? And Rasputin said to him, donkeys. I've been smuggling donkeys. It's right before his eyes, but he could not see it. I think that's what happens when we're in a state of unforgiveness. Because when we hold a resentful mind or a suspicious mind, we've missed the divine ideas that Spirit has knocking on our awareness, our consciousness. Because the negative energy is drowning it out. It's blinding us from seeing it. And although two people may be outside the walls of a jail, they're in their own life, they're still in prison. Because we cannot see the world that the Spirit has created. We only see our limited thinking. And I mentioned earlier that I was with a gathering with Paula and some other folks the other night. And she reminded me of a song from Bob Marley. The song is called Redemption Song. And part of that redemption song has this line in it that really stands out. He said, emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. We can only free our minds ourselves. Years ago, I was at the Parliament of World Religions when they had it in Barcelona, Spain. And one of my most memorable experiences of being part of that particular parliament was the sharing of the mothers and the women who are from Palestine and Israel. Now, there's a whole lot going on around that conversation that take a week to try to unravel, but I'm not going to try to get into that right now. I do have some thoughts, but I won't share them. But anyway, the representatives of these two groups explain how they decided to come together, to let go of blame, to break down the barriers that separated them. They did this as the leadership for their respective countries continued their conflicts that resulted in the death of many of the women's children. And the women explained how they mourned together, how they shared with each other, how they broke bread together. They shared how they had that common pain of losing family members to the conflict that had been going on for a long time. But they had come to a common vision. And they had a common vision that said they would never lose a loved one again, to find ways to peacefully build bridges between them and their families, between Palestine and Israel. At least that was their intention. And everyone in the room that were watching this and knew what was going on had a very emotional experience just by witnessing that conversation. But these women moved beyond the beliefs they had been taught about one another. And they forgave one another so they could work for the good of both communities. And I believe what happened, they rose above their seeming differences in religion and nationality and became open to fresh insights and fresh revelations by releasing blame, by engaging in forgiveness. And I think when we practice releasing blame and practice forgiveness, it doesn't mean that we're not going to experience some sort of hardship or challenging or emotionally tough times. And that's why the author moves into the next chapter of this week about thankfulness. You know, we may all have those tough moments. We may not have them on the level that woman Melissa had, or those Palestinian Israeli mothers had with losing, many, many family members. But he notes in his book on that chapter, but to get through those challenging times, we get through it through thankfulness. In 1 Thessalonians, it says that give thanks in all circumstances. And I had to reread that because it didn't say give thanks for the circumstances, but in the circumstances. Because in the circumstance is a gift, if we but look for it. There was a time that I was giving a talk at a spiritual community I was part of, and just happened that day, one of the persons that came as a guest was Maya Angelou. And she came up front, sat up front, and, she was out there before I came from the back, and somebody was running into me and said, James, do you know who's out there today? I said, well, who? Tell me. She said, oh, Maya Angelou. And I said to myself, I'm glad I prepared. Anyway, near the end of the service, I asked Ms. Angelou kind of meekly, do you want to come up and say a few words to the congregation there? And I didn't know it at the time. And I didn't realize it until she was being interviewed and was talking about her experience there that day. And she was sharing what she was going through. She said, at that time, my body was racked with pain. My son was in the hospital for a serious health illness. There was upheaval in my own life, in my business life. She said there was a lot going on. But anyway, she got up and she said just these short words. 2 words, actually. Thank you. That's it. Thank you. Thank you. And she sat down. That was it. And I think maybe in some way, I never talked with her directly about it, that she knew there was a power in thankfulness. That in the most trying of times, there is always a gift there. There is a blessing there. So I think she was saying in so many words what I was saying in that chapter this week, thank you for this gift. And I believe that Miss Angelou was saying to herself in so many words, I may be putting words in her mouth, I'm not messing with my blessing. Thank you for the gift. Chant talks out that about a mantra, an affirmation that begins with thank you. And the thank you anchors in the vibration of gratitude and thankfulness. And it ends with and affirms with the word gift. And he does this because there's always a reason for something to happen, to positively move us forward in our evolution as spiritual beings, regardless how it looks to our unspiritualized ego. There's a quote in there, he says that it's a cosmic rule that anything received as a gift will always contain some form of benefit. Sometimes we only see it when we look back to what we went through. I look back to some of my parts of my life and say thank you that I had that abandonment experience by my mother and that impacted my own self-image. And thank you for the addictions I went through that led to my riotous living, because all of that was a gift that led to me to have a spiritual path and the privilege of being here today. So we understand the universe always has a plan, and everything is as it should be. So we want to make thankfulness and forgiveness a way of life. Not making thankfulness something that just comes and goes because events seem to come and go our way, but help us see the gift is where there appears to be no gift. So we release blame, not because it's easy to the unspiritualized ego, because we want to be spiritual. We say, hey, you're spiritual, you need to forgive. No. It seems like the right thing to do, we may think. Rather, we do these things because it sets us free. So we can see the multitude of blessings that have always been there before time. So we release blame and give thanks in all things, and no longer wait to live life waiting for an external change to happen, or people around us to be different, or to stop blaming them for our unhappiness. We are just able to see it differently so that we no longer give our power away to anyone or anything outside of us. We take our power back. There's a doctor named David Soper. He wrote a book called God is Inescapable. And he suggests there's a difference between a prison and a monastery. And it's just the difference between griping and blaming and embracing thankfulness and forgiveness. And he says that an imprisoned person oftentimes spends every waking moment in resentment and blame. But a self-imprisoned saint spends every waking moment practicing forgiveness and offering thanks. And he points out that a criminal becomes a saint by releasing blame and embodying thankfulness, so the jail becomes his monastery. And when a saint gives up gratitude and stops forgiving, that person's monastery becomes their prison. So forgiveness, and thankfulness is the order of the day. And when we're in that space, we are participating in the good of God. We're not anticipating God's good, but we're participating in God's good right here and right now. There's a big difference between anticipating and participating it. We like to say there's no spot where God is not. Or as Reverend Deborah like to say, there's no space that God does not grace. But there are people necessarily not present where they are. They're either in the past or in the future anticipating some sort of good and not here participating in the flow of life. And they're mistakenly identifying themselves as victims or circumstances that are causing them to be victims, holding on to the blame, saying, I'm not going to be grateful. Because if I'm grateful about this circumstance, the universe might get the wrong idea, start sending me more of that stuff. No, we're not doing that. The universe doesn't act that way. So some people constantly identify themselves as victims. No one here, I know there's no one here has ever been a victim. And those individuals sometimes develop strategies to cope with what they consider an unfriendly universe, or living life anticipating some good one day when they shuffle off the mortal coil and go to a place we call heaven, or waiting for that other person to change or clean up their stuff or get their stuff together so that all will be right with the world. But all along, they are not participating in the good that is already here. When we begin to acknowledge the good, when we begin to live in that high thankfulness, then right here and right now we are participating in the friendly universe, and life begins to bear witness to this magnificent truth. The universe always has a plan, and the plan is good. Peace and blessings to you. Well, each week we have an affirmation that we take with us to embody some of the ideas of the week. So I invite you to join in as we affirm this affirmation together. Forgiving others opens me to the gift of every experience. Thank you for everything and everyone that comes my way. I fly free. We're flying free today and each and every week. And we're going to continue flying free as we talk about the idea of embodying your potential. We'll have Reverend Paul Sanchez will be here to do the meditation, music by William Minifield, and Soul Light Connection. So we'll continue on our journey of unfoldment and being in tune with the plan that the universe has for us individually and collectively. If you're looking for prayer, like some prayer support, you can do so by praying with one of our chaplains. Just look for one of the chaplains that has the prayer stoles. They'll be out there in the courtyard, and they'll be more than happy to pray for you or pray with you, to see things from the highest point of view, because that's what prayer is. It's looking at things from a higher point of view beyond how we're looking at it from our own human eyes and human perspective. If you're new online, would like to stay in contact with Spiritual Life Center, you can do so by filling out one of the online welcome cards, or anyone can do that at any time as well. And you can fill that out, and we'll keep you informed as to what's taking place at Spiritual Life Center. But more importantly, I want to ask, is there anyone here today for the very first time? Any first-timers here, the first time they've ever been here today? Oh, keep your hand up nice and high. Thanks so much for you being here. We appreciate your presence. And there's a card you can fill out if you so desire. We'll let you know what's going on at our community, and we appreciate you. We behold the magnificence that you are, and we see you doing great things. And again, we thank you, we bless you for gracing us with your presence today, because we're all on the path of growing and developing, unfolding, and we see that for you as well. For those who are online who would like to support Spiritual Life Center with your gift or your offering, you can do so by texting SLC Love to 44321. That's SLC Love to 44321. Or you can go to our website, slcworld.org, click the Donate tab, and it'll give you other ways that you can give, including setting. Sometimes my words just get jumbled up and can't keep up with my mind. You'll get other ways that you can support us with your gifts, including sending a check by mail. So we thank you for watching us either live or on one of the replays, and spread the word, let other people know about it, thank us, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff, because our message is necessary for someone out there to make a difference in their life, in our world. For those who are here today, we'd like to support unity with our organization, Spiritual Life Center, with your gift or your offering, or just be in the flow that you've already given and you just want to reinforce that. I just invite you to take your gift and offering and just see that flow happening, knowing that whatever you give out comes back to you in ways you never imagined, as we collectively affirm our offertory blessing together. Let's say that aloud. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. Thank you, God.
One shot to your heart without breaking your skin. No one has the power to hurt you like your kin. Kept it inside, didn't tell no one else. I didn't even wanna admit it to myself. And now your chest hurts and your back aches from all the years of holding only have yourself to blame if you continue to live this way. Get it together, wanna heal your body. Get it together, have to heal your heart. Whatsoever you sow, you will reap. Get it together. Dark future ahead of me, that's what they said. I'd be starving if I ate all the lies that they fed. 'Cause I've been redeemed from your anguish and pain. A miracle child, I'm focusing on a cloud. 'Cause the words that come from your mouth, you the first to hear. Speak words of beauty, anybody says, what matters most breaking your skin. No one has the power to hurt you like your friends. Thought it would never change, but as time moved on, that ugly duckling turned into a swan. And now your chest burns and your back aches, because now all the years are showing up on your face. But you'll never be happy and you'll never be whole until you see the beauty in growing old. So get it together, wanna heal my body, yeah. Get it together, have to heal your heart. Whatsoever you sow, you will reap. So get it together, get it together. I wanna heal my body. Get it together, I wanna heal my heart. Whatsoever you sow, you will reap. Get it together, so you can fly, 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 fly. You can live or you can die. You know that life is a choice that you make. You can give or you can take. You can fly, 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 fly. 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 Yeah. You can
You could fly, 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 fly. I'm gonna have a lot of songs this week, a lot of phrases. Let's take this moment to bless those who have blessed us with their gifts and offerings, to provide a place for those who are looking to really grow and unfold into their spiritual potential. This is why we are here. No matter what jobs we have in the outer, our real job is to let God be God in us. And so here's a place that we can be reminded of the possibilities that lie within us that are simply waiting to be expressed in our life and in our world. So we thank those who have supported us with their gifts and offerings today, throughout the week, or any time. We also bless those who have left their prayers in the prayer box today or any day throughout the week, knowing that we all have our challenges in life. We all have our setbacks and things that we can't figure out on our own might and power and know-how. And in those moments, we have to release and let go and lean on a presence that's greater than our own understanding. A presence that is the same yesterday, today, and forever, and has the answer even before we know what the question is, that has the prayer response even before we know what to pray for. As that statement goes, before they call, have already answered you. For this all-knowing, everywhere present presence that is omniactive is with us always. And no matter how big the seeming challenges that we may have in our life that come up in our world, there's a presence, a power that's bigger than any challenge, bigger than any situation, bigger than any stumbling block that we may run across. Because we remember, no matter how big they are, the presence of God is bigger. The presence of God knows more, is more, because it is everything. And for this, we are grateful that we are one with it as we open up our minds and hearts and do so. For over this and so much more, we're grateful and know that this presence is with us always and in all ways. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. Let's join together as we affirm our prayer for protection. Speak it aloud together. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, I am, and all is well. Let's sing our peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, God as creator, family, all are we, family, all are we. Let us walk with each other, oh yeah, in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now.
Let this be the moment.
With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow.
To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let it begin with me. Peace and blessings. Have a great week. Hang around for some post-service music if you like. It sounds good. It is good.